Hey team, just Rowyn here. We're gonna hang out together for, not long. This won't be long. So I have this library, right? And libraries, you might want a table, like to study at. And I realized that I hadn't drawn one. And I need one. Because this scene goes on for like many, many pages. Many, many pages. And I realized the table was not going to be seen much. Like, table itself, you're only going to see like a little sliver of it. But there's one panel, this one panel right here, where you see it, the whole thing. So I had to draw a table. You can see how much I had actually drawn of the rest of the scene by the point that I realized, oh, table. So, I drew a table. I didn't record drawing the table, because it's just drawing a table. It's fine. It's fine. But it looked like my friend said it looked like a PS1 graphic. Like for PlayStation, and he wasn't wrong. But the trick was changing the shading a little bit, and the final was better. That one leg is so wonky and so huge for no reason, and I don't care, because again, it's just in the one panel, and then it's never seen again. But I spent so much time on this table, and then I realized there were no chairs! So I had to draw a chair, and I tried to make it make sense with the table, with the style of the table. The table, I at least had looked at a reference the whole time, like I should have just traced this, but I didn't. I was just staring at a table, and two different tables actually, and I kind of smushed them together. So with the chair, I then effectively used the table as a reference for the chair to try to make it the same style. So I'm starting with the silhouette, general shape that I'm going for. And again, like, I know these legs, they might get seen once. I don't know, but I did the silhouette to then try to do the color over. Just to clip it to the layer below to have that shape that I can't go out of, because I'm happy with the shape. I like doing the clip layer, that kind of trap the color where I want it to go. And I tried to do the color the same way as the table, again, to match it, which meant I started with the highlights, where the light is hitting, and then this sort of vague wood, right? Just general concept of wood. And then blending, I overblend. Just by default, in my heart, I tend to want to overblend, and that doesn't always look good. It usually doesn't look good. I recommend to other people, don't do what I do. Do not overblend. Make sure there are some harsher lines, for like bigger contrast moments. You should have some kind of softer shading, and then also the harsher shading. There's a better word for that. But you know what I'm saying. To have something more definitively contrasting between dark and light. A harder shadow. You need that to actually show the shape of things if you're not having any kind of outline. Can you hear the siren? That's fun. I'm not going to re-record this. That's just what you get. Things happen in the world. I've accepted this. I'm so tired. Anyway, the chair, I think, is close enough. And again, it's going to be so small on the page, it's going to be... But whatever. Whatever. It's fine. I like it enough. I'm not doing it anymore, though. I've spent too much time on this project in general. 180 pages. This is the chair. It's a fine chair. It's a good enough chair. And so I put the table in, I put the chairs in, and I realized that most of the chairs, you're only going to see the top part. And I also wanted them to be at an angle for a lot of the other panels, because these characters are moving around kind of a lot to get some kind of interest desperately, right? So, so I'm putting the chairs where they need to go, trying to make them the right size for the butt. I'm thinking in terms of like the bottom of the chair, the actual seat of the chair, in relation to the character's butt, right? To figure out what the back should look like to their backs. And again, most of these panels... you're not gonna see the bottom of the chair anyway. You're only gonna see the top part. So when making the chair tilt, I realized I only needed to really focus on that top part. I didn't have to care so much about the perspective and change of perspective when it came to the actual seat part of the chair. keeping that in mind, I copy, I paste, and first I try the perspective tool. This, in some cases, this is great. If you're working with like a flat object, like a painting, and you need to have it on a wall, perspective tool is great. Otherwise, not so much. So I end up just manually freehand warping it, right? And at first I forgot that I wouldn't need the bottom part, and I was gonna finagle that, which at that point just redraw the dang thing, right? And then I decided against it. I decided I could just ignore that whole part, as I said to you before. It's the top part that matters. We're gonna be seeing more of this side of the chair, right? So we're gonna emphasize that side, elongate that side, make the other side shorter, because we're seeing less of that side. Eventually I also move the top part in the middle, that thingy, the three little blob thingy, to try to make it also, see, a little angled. A little bit angled. How does the light change, and how do I push the whole thing over just a little bit? I could have just redrawn the chair. I don't know if that would have been easier or harder, honestly. I'm never sure. But this is what I did. These are the choices I made, and I'm showing them to you. And Rob's not here to say that I'm fine, so I don't know that I'm fine. But anyway, these are all the chairs and the seating arrangements. And then it's in the scene. Ta-da! Entropy head. I don't know when this is gonna come out. 180 pages of this. I don't know. Sometimes there's monsters. It's a really violent book, actually. But also a love story. Anyway, rock on.